Welcome back, folks. With me, Phil Too Real. You're gonna be watching my Megaman X3 Let's Play, which, to be completely honest, this is my least favorite of the Super Nintendo trilogy of Megaman X games, and this Let's Play that you're watching kind of cemented that. This is by far one of the worst recordings I've ever had of all time. I'll talk more about that later if anyone wants to know about that. But anyways, in the year 21XX, all the Mavericks have been neutralized thanks to the efforts of a Reploid scientist named Dr. Doppler. Now, Dr. Doppler did the nice and kind thing that doctors are supposed to do and fix, disease and all this bad stuff, which is what he invented with his neurocomputer. And it decided to fix the evil Sigma virus that was infecting Reploids and making them Mavericks. So most of the Reploids decided to, go to where Dr. Doppler was and found a new town named Doppler Town, which is a perfect utopian community because, with Dr. Doppler guiding them, the world seemed ready to enter into a new golden age. However, with that ellipses comes a bad story element that's about to show up right now. Now, if you gather a lot of Mavericks in one specific area, you tend to get a rebellion. Some of the Mavericks who were supposed to have been neutralized by the neurocomputer that Dr. Doppler invented suddenly appeared and began to riot. And, who couldn't have seen this coming? We're 3 games in and Mavericks. It's like nanomachines for Metal Gear Solid. So, Dr. Doppler was actually the mastermind of this whole scenario, and soon the call went out to X and Zero to destroy the invading Mavericks and to bring Dr. Doppler to justice. Because that's what we do. They want to they're going to get with the program, or they're going to get put down. Get down or get put down, basically. So they're going to dispatch X and Zero, and Zero now has his beam saber, his square shoulder pads, and he still has his buster. Because despite whichever ending you get, the canonical ending gives him those shoulder pads and beam saber. And the beam saber is, in a way, it's a good and a bad thing. And I'll explain what I mean by bad thing. You might be, Phil, what do you mean it's a bad thing? There's a little bit of a problem with the beam saber in this game. But anyways, this is the headquarters of the Maverick Hunter. Maverick Hunters. We are under attack from the Doppler forces. Probably should just change our voice for this, but that's okay. All units return to the base immediately and return fire. I immediately think of the Maverick Hunter announcer from Megaman X4 at the very beginning of Zero's playthrough. Anyways, and with that, we get thrown into Megaman X3, my least favorite Super Nintendo games. Now, while the game is going to do its opening cutscene right here, the thing I didn't like about this, I actually had to replay this game 4 times. The first time I recorded it all in one go, and my mic was turned off the whole time. But also, I didn't like the way that recording went, so I was like, screw it, I'll just go ahead and record it again. I'll still do post-commentary. It'll probably come out better. Second time, just wasn't satisfied again with it. Third time, which is what you're seeing, came out pretty well. And then I went ahead and replayed it again because, not all the way, but I replayed it again to get the alternate ending. So, Megaman X3. One of the things that you're going to notice is X still has the dash. He still has the charge shot. X is pretty much the same as he was in Megaman X2, the way he started. Not the way he ended, but the way he started. Now, the thing I hate about Megaman X3 is the enemy placements seem to be placed in certain areas where you're going to take a hit. And, that seems to be kind of part of the course for platformers. But the enemies hit really hard in this game. Certain enemies hit really hard in this game. But, Mac, where you been? Ah! You're far too trusting, X. I'm now a member of Doppler's army. You will make a fine addition to our forces once You have been shown the true destiny of the Reploid race. Oh, I guess we're kind of fucked. So that's the end of this Let's Play, folks. And well, I'll check you next one. What's this? Yes, and we get to play Zero. And Zero is one of the fun parts about Owl. It's one of the fun parts about Megaman X3. You get to play as Zero, and in some ways, it's kind of awesome to play as Zero. But one thing I don't like about Zero is his beam saber in this game. And the reason why a lot of people love his beam saber, and I do still love his beam saber in this game. Don't get me wrong. It's stupidly ridiculously strong. You can kill a lot of enemies, all the enemies actually, with one hit with his beam saber. And then, you know, bosses that there's only like really two bosses you can fight with Zero. One of them is Mac, and the other one is a boss that you're going to fight in Doppler's lair at the end of the game. But we're going to go ahead and rescue X with Zero. So you can shoot him once and then just beam saber him before he even gets a chance to attack, and you take out Mac, not Doppler. And shoot the little thing that's holding X, and then you'll be done with Zero's little segment. I'll talk more about Zero when we get to Toxic Seahorse's level. I went stupid there for a second. Anyways, with that, we're done with at Zero. We'll get X, who's still very fragile. And if you notice with Zero, he had about twice the length of X's health bar. So that's pretty awesome for Zero. Anyways, not for X. Got to rebuild that health bar from the ground up. So we're going to get introduced to the giant boss that's typical to Megaman X games. Going forward from X2 onward. That was a cheap shot right there, and that damn thing knows it. It doesn't hurt very much, but just hit in the head and you can do lots of damage. But not super hard boss. Like I said, the huge bosses in Megaman X games are not difficult. That one just has a cheap shot at the very beginning if you're unlucky. So you always start at full health, so it's not going to be an issue because, you know, when you get X, he's fully healed when he's rescued by Zero. And there goes the remains of it. Alright. Look, we've swept most of the enemies out of here. I'll go back and check on headquarters. Call me if you need me. See you later, X. Whee! And we go back 2. And so that, we're done with our first level. I'll go ahead and leave the codes here in case anyone really wants to like play like how I'm playing. But you can actually make these codes up on like Megaman X3 password generators. But these are 8 adjective animals. I think it's I forgot the Hornet's name, but we get Blizzard, Buffalo, Gravity Hornet, Toxic Seahorse, Neon Tiger, Tunnel Rhino, Crushed Crawfish, and Volt Catfish. Blast Hornet, that's what his name is. Now, this right here that we're watching is actually the PlayStation intro for the Megaman X3 port. It was just super awesome. I love these little ports, and it even has like the Megaman 2 Wily thing. Blizzard Buffalo. Anyways, and now I'm also just going to go ahead and leave in the regular Super Nintendo version of the intro too. But super awesome. I love these anime intros for these bosses. I just wish they would have left them here. And maybe kind of touched them up because those are kind of horrendous. So anyways, let's go ahead and get back into it. So, Blizzard Buffalo's out. It hit me and I already lost like 3 or 4 bars of my health, I think. But anyways, yeah, the enemies hit hard. Ice physics, of course, if you played Megaman X1, you know how ice physics work. Right here, it's kind of hard to avoid those enemies. Keep going. That little platform, I'll talk about the platform too. I'm trying to move a little bit too quick. Health items are still there. A couple bots are actually super weak. They don't really hit very hard, but the other enemies in Blizzard Buffalo stage kind of do hurt very badly, especially those red bots that shoot the missiles and all that. This boss room can be occupied by some optional sub bosses. Well, not optional. We will have to fight them, but you could fight them, or you don't have to fight them. Or, yeah, you do have to fight them, but you have a chance to kill them, or you. I'll talk about them anyways. Anyways, let's go back here. I'm getting tongue-tied. So just go up here, take out this enemy down here, or right there in front of you. Go up here. There is a sub-tank right there, but we can't get it. We're going to get it actually in this part after we get a little bit of a foot upgrade. Now, Blizzard Buffalo is a level I like to start with because I like to get the leg parts. Very typical, because you know snow parts are always going to be in snow levels are always going to have the leg parts for Megaman X most of the time. I'm trying to think if there's any more leg parts in these snow levels, but anyways, we're already at the end level, so right here just dash, get to the edge right there, but we didn't, so we're going to have to climb back up here. So be very careful about those robots, because those robots do hurt a shit ton. Arm cannons not so much, but if you make contact with them or their little snowmobile, it'll freaking hurt. You don't want to get hit by that. Those little fuckers hurt a lot. Anyways, I'm going to be kind of unhinged with this game because I just have a lot of bad memories playing this game for the Let's Play. But we find Dr. Light's capsule here, and this will be our leg capsule. And I actually do, and I don't like these leg parts. And the only reason I don't like these leg parts is I feel like I tend to activate the up function with these leg parts and leg parts. What are you talking about, Phil? Well, if you can dash left, you can dash right, but you can also dash upward. So just you're gonna hold up and then the dash button, and you'll dash straight up. And then you can also air dash as well. You can dash in midair. So just be very careful right here. See right here, the freaking snowmobile just reappears. And also, just like any other Mega Man game, if you off-screen the enemies where they wurged a little bit, they'll respawn. So that's not fun. So we're going to grab this health here because I'm kind of risking it for the biscuit here for health. So, you know, just don't die. Actually, right here, I should have just jumped up in the air flow, just carried it up. But, you know, I'm going to just destroy and take the hard path. Which the hard path is me just trying to not get hit by these robots, especially that freaking snowmobile. So just be very careful, and then just take out the little missile dude right here. And yeah, I just probably just respawn that missile dude right here. Nope, I didn't, but I got hit by the snowmobile. Man, I feel like these enemies hit like 1 point harder than they should. But anyways, dash jump right here. So you might want to take out these enemies right here. Jump. And then air dash straight up, assuming you don't get hit. So do it again. So wait for that dude to shoot. Take him out. The missile dude here too. Jump, dash straight up, and then hold left, and you'll be able to get your first energy tank. So we pretty much got everything but the heart tank in here. I don't know why I saved. Oh, I know why I saved. I'm switching to 0. So if you go to your menu and you hit select or one of the trigger buttons, I believe, just switch to 0. Now, talking about 0 right now. 0 he's much stronger than X in the very early game because he has a bigger health bar. He can charge up to level 3, which means he gets 2 charge shots, and he can use his beam saber to finish off once he's charged up all the way, which is what green is. Now, however, 0 cannot fight bosses, so the moment you get close to the door to the bosses, 0 is going to get interrupted. X is going to say, "Hey, 0, I'll handle this. You're a bitch." But no, you'll never fight any of the 8 Mavericks with 0. And talking about 8 Mavericks, this is Blizzard Buffalo. Now, Blizzard Buffalo's strategy is to charge. You do not want to stay right in front of him for too long, otherwise he's going to charge you, and you're going to have man, I'm doing very shitty right now. You have a very miserable time if you get hit by him. So just charge, and then shoot him, and then dash away from him. And then get to this wall and then jump over him. Or you can actually dash straight up and avoid him. Now, I like to do it this way because in the event that he decides to stop and start throwing out these, frost towers, which is power from the next Ice Maverick in Megaman X3. He can also charge those beams, so if you hear a little bit of a charging sound, he's going to charge that beam and shoot at you, which just freezes you. And then that's really it. He has another charge attack where he uses the horns, but to me it's no different than him charging normally. I think the horns just hurt a little bit extra. And you just rinse and repeat and you take him out. And then also, before I forget, let me talk a little bit about Blizzard Buffalo's background. Despite his fearsome appearance, Blizzard Buffalo is a gentle artist whose hobby is to make ice sculpture. He's exceptionally well suited to snowy regions and loves the cold, but can't handle heat very well. However, after being affected by the Maverick virus, he now charges enemies in blind fury, smashing foes too slow to dodge. So, that's a little bit interesting. But we've already beaten Blizzard Buffalo, so he's done. He's defeated. And he's the easiest of the 8 Mavericks, in my opinion, with the Buster. Now, that said, initially, I'll be completely honest. Initially, Frost Shield, is it Frost Shield or is it Blizzard Shield? Let me see. I forget. It's something Shield. But this weapon, I always thought it sucked. I thought it always sucked until I did a little bit of reading up on, is it Frost Shield? Or is it Blizzard Shield? Frost Shield. If you kill an enemy, most enemies with Frost Shield, you're guaranteed to get a health pickup with this. So that's a very, very good benefit of this weapon. Now, otherwise, it's only good to take out Toxic Seahorse. Now, we're going to take out Toxic Seahorse because he's weak against the Frost Shield. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go and do that. So, Phil, let's go ahead and get started. And we'll see the anime intro for Toxic Seahorse, which is kind of funny. Especially the music. And actually, if I'm going to be completely honest, I've never fought Toxic Seahorse without his weakness. And I didn't really know that he has a liquefying ability until I played the PlayStation version of Megaman X3. So, pretty neat if you actually decided to take your time and fight him with the Buster. Now, Toxic Seahorse's backstory, just a little bit, before I forget. Toxic Seahorse has a body inspired by a seahorse, possessing a long curved neck and a tail composed of connecting spheres. His feet splay out like fins, and his head has multiple crests on his back and long snout. His armor is primarily green and purple in color. What little is known about Toxic Seahorse's character paints him as a secret stealth operative. So, that's pretty interesting. He's kind of like a secret agent, man. So, I went and switched to Zero. Now, one thing that I'm going to unfortunately do here is I'm going to die with Zero because of my own negligence. Because I'm going to... It's coming up. But you don't ever want to die with Zero, because if you die with Zero, you lose Zero forever. And you lose the ability to get a special weapon for X. So, when you die with Zero, you get this. Sorry, X. I failed. Looks like my power generator is damaged. Go ahead and crush it. Your only hope, X. So when you get this, you don't get to use Zero anymore. Zero is permanently taken out of the game. So I went and jump cutted back because that was embarrassing, but I decided to leave it in because, you know, it's kind of nice to show what happens if you die with Zero normally. There is another way that you can die with Zero, but something good happens from it, shall we say. So just continue up here, and don't mind if you get hit a few times with Zero. He can take the hits much better in X in the early game anyways. So go up here, and then keep climbing up here, and then you get a heart tank, but you have to switch to X to get the heart tank. So go ahead and switch back to X the same way you switch to get Zero, and well, you can get a little bit of extra health for X. Not much, but you know, every little bit helps. Go through here, we'll go through the sub-boss room that won't be occupied just yet, and then we will go out. Now, Toxic Seahorse's second part of the level, which is after sub-boss room, is actually pretty big in height. You don't actually see a lot of it in the early game without getting the arm parts, because you're in the water. There's actually some stuff above the water line, which is pretty interesting, but we won't see that. So just going along the bottom, go through here, we're going to fight a Kraken boss, octopus boss, whatever boss. It's a boss that's not very difficult. So you can just shoot it with the Buster, and then just hit it with some pellet shots. The invincibility frames are really, really, really non-existent for this enemy. So as long as you hit it with a charge shot, you just keep popping it with pellets, you'll finish it with no time at all. With minimum effort too. You can probably take out with some special weapons, but the Buster is all I need because I'm never going to go through this section of Toxic Seahorse's level again. after this point. So continue on, the water will drain and we'll have to climb up, and that's just level. So water kind of sucks in a way, because if you have water Mega Man, you're gonna 9 times out of 10 be guaranteed there's some instant death bullshit around the corner. So you really don't want to be in water. So go ahead and take out these enemies in purple. And once they shoot out their purple shocks, you're going to want to shoot them as the shocks spread, and you can take them out that way. The red armor robots here, those hurt a lot, so make sure you take them out from a distance. Now this part here, I forgot to hug the wall that's farthest, not this wall right here, because you're going to fall into spikes! And I air dashed up, and I let go. But I'm going to jump cut back, so don't do that, folks. Just slide on this wall right here on the far end, and you'll be okay. But yeah, we're at Toxic Seahorse's boss room, and he's super duper easy with the frost shield, ridiculously so. The first time I played Megaman X3, I got super lucky. I guessed right with the frost shield, but he'll jump towards you, use the frost shield, and that's it. And then he'll jump towards you, use the frost shield, it'll delay, and he'll jump on top of it, and he'll take his damage, and then he'll reset his pattern, and that's it. Now, if you don't do this and use the Buster, from what I've seen, he'll use his acid bomb attack, he'll use his disintegration ability, but he'll turn into his toxic liquid form, his liquefied form, and then he'll disappear and he'll try to reappear underneath you for damage. And he'll also have like a bouncing acid bomb attack as well. So he has normal acid bomb, and then he has a bouncing acid bomb attack. And as far as I know, that's it. I could be wrong, there's be more attacks, but that's what I know that there is. And with that, we will get the acid bomb, which is also a pretty interesting weapon, like the frost shield. If you use it and kill an enemy, I've always gotten weapon energy pellets, so that's nice. But we're going to use this to take out Tunnel Rhino, but we're actually going to side quest a little bit before Tunnel Rhino. So we'll get the acid burst, and I'll catch you next time, folks. Later, and bye.